Happy Muk-jji-bba Day!
Happy Muk-jji-bba Day.
Happy Muk-jji-bba Day.
Welcome back to another episode. I'm Aeji.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Judy.
How is everyone doing?
It's December.
I know.
Shoot, yes.
Yeah.
It's actually crazy. How was your guys' Thanksgivings?
Very uneventful. I was working.
Oh.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I was sick, so
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was not having it. Yeah. But I mean, you know what? Once you are sick and then you recover, it's the best feeling.
That's
Yeah.
true.
It's like,
It
oh,
is.
I love life. Healthy life.
Yes, health
Yeah.
as well, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What about you guys?
How are you, Judy?
It was busy. We had some people come over for lunch. So I think prepping for that was pretty busy. And then for dinner, we got invited to a family friend's place in Irvine. So then we drove over. So we also had prepared some food for that. But most of the food was already prepared, thankfully. Yeah, so we hung out there for a little bit. So it was just a lot of like prepping and then like being, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was really good. It was good.
Did you eat a lot?
Dude, I did, but I got like stomach issues after.
Oh.
But like my mom did, my dog did too.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like I don't know. I don't know what happened. But once I get like indigestion really bad, it gets pretty bad. So I think that also, well, it was like the stomach. I don't know. I don't think it was a stomach flu, but
Did you have a
something about-
fever?
I did. On Sunday
Then-
night, I
oh,
did.
Probably
But
as
then-
a stomach flu.
I think it was like a mild stomach flu because after that, it was just like my upper stomach just felt constantly uncomfortable. Like I had indigestion. So yeah, but Thanksgiving itself was great. Yes. What about
good.
you, Aeji?
It was good. It was really
Yeah?
nice.
Yeah?
Not working and honestly just lounged around at home for like most of the days. And so it was really, really nice. We didn't like go see other people, but my mom just made steak like day of. So that was our Thanksgiving meal. And yeah, just kind of lounged around on the couch most of the day. So it was very relaxing.
How was it with Grant being home?
It was good, but he went out all the time at night. Literally
Oh.
every single day that he was
Oh, wow.
here from Tuesday, and then he left on Monday. So every day in between, he went out. But I wish I had this energy because he would go out sometimes early evening, come back, and then go out again at like 10 p.m. Or like
Jeez.
he'll meet up with friends at 10 p.m. And I always ask, why do you guys not hang out earlier in the day? You know, when it's bright out. He's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. They all want to hang out later. So he'll come home at literally, there was one day my parents woke up super early at like 4. They woke up and he came home.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know how he does it.
Interesting.
Props to him.
Seriously, props to him.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I hope everyone else had a very delicious Thanksgiving. So for this episode, we wanted to talk about just, post-grad life. I know we've talked about it before, but I think we're really approaching the quarter life crisis. And we're honestly kind of in the thick of it and really going through it just every day. So...
Dang.
Yeah, and 25, like the actual quarter life, if we live to 100, is coming. And so let's talk through it, guys.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I don't want to live until we reach 100.
I second that. But my mom, I don't know if you guys saw this as well. My mom saw this study that apparently people who were born in 2015 will live to be like 150 or something.
Yeah.
I did.
And
I
so
saw
yeah.
I was like, oh, that doesn't sound
Yeah.
very appealing.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
Sweet
Like,
too.
even if it's like you're healthy,
Yeah.
I still... I'd rather just...
Depart.
Yes, depart. Yeah. Peacefully,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is not the topic.
Yeah. Maybe we can start with like career. I feel like that's the easiest
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I realized like, oh, I've already been here for over 2 years, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but I think in today's, job environment,
Yeah.
that's like relatively long, and I'm not looking to go anywhere else like anytime soon, and so it's kind of like, oh, 2 years is actually a longer time than I thought. And then I think the first 2 years is just more like, oh, go, like make sure I learn how to even just do the job. And now I was talking about this with my direct manager, but she was asking me questions on, what I want in my career and what I want in the future. And if I were to leave or stay, what we can do together to make sure I can get to where I want. But I don't even know where I want to be. And so I think that I realized that more and more, like, what do I want? I don't know. And she was like asking me all these questions, but all I could say was, I don't know. And it was like really frustrating. And I think on the surface, it seems like, oh, I'm doing fine. Like I am doing this job. I'm like not terrible at it. I have good teammates, good friends. But something, I know I don't want to do this forever. But it's like, what do I even want to do? I don't know. So it kind of feels like I'm back to square one in a sense. And I think we talked about this before, how we have experience, but in a sense, it can be kind of limiting because you have built up experience in that one particular thing.
Yeah.
So you don't know if you can do something else totally apart from that.
Yeah.
And it's a bit scary to think of trying something completely different. So it's very long-winded and not really conclusive, but that is where I am. Yeah.
Do you think, as you're thinking about this, are you the type to be like, make a plan for yourself, like a step-by-step plan to figure out what you want? Or is it more like, I should eventually, but I don't know, and you're like, are you taking initiative?
I'm not. Because it feels really existential, Because
Yeah.
so
Oh, so
much-
you're avoidant.
I am very avoidant.
Hostess, I feel you.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to think about it. Yeah, because then it's just like a rabbit hole
Yeah.
of so many different things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like Pandora's box almost. Yeah.
Yeah. Brittany, what about you?
I think I kind of went through what you're experiencing, but earlier, like towards the tail end of college, where I eventually did fall into that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And it was a very chaotic time. I feel like in my head, like on the outside, it's just I'm normal, but it was like a constant thought in my head where I just genuinely, I have this like, I don't know what to call it. It's not a picture, but it's more of a feeling that I would like to achieve in the future, but I can't connect it to a tangible like career or like even like partner, anything like that. So it was frustrating to just see that disconnect and not be able to clip it together. But I think in the end, that was a little helpful in my instance because I was able to just let things go and try out things, just different things, and kind of wing it in a sense. Yeah, but now I'm like, I think I'm in a place where I have kind of figured out what I do like and what I don't like in a career, and I'm headed towards like a direction that I am satisfied with, but there's always that dissatisfaction in my head. It's like I feel like I can be doing more, but I don't know what. Yeah. Like whether it's like a personal passion project. And then there's this whole thing of laziness. Like that's just a struggle that I feel like everyone goes through to some extent. And yeah, that's kind of where I am.
Yeah.
How about you, Judy?
I think I'm in a similar place as Aeji, where it's like I don't really know what I want to do next. But I also think it's like, it's not that I necessarily don't know. it's just kind of like a fear of transitioning out of my current job. Just because I know the state of the job market as well. And I know it's not looking so hot. So I'm just like, if I do look for jobs and I like don't get one job, I'm just like, I think I'm just afraid of feeling like, oh my goodness, I'm stuck here. I feel like I don't want to hit that thought. So it's just like, oh, do I even start applying? And then when I look at jobs or industries that I want to be a part of, I feel like there's either, I mean, there are some like in between jobs that are available, like, you know, not super entry level, not super high up, but I think just like you said, like any industry that you go to, you feel like you kind of need to start from the bottom and make your way up, just because that experience, you don't know if it's transferable, you know. So that's kind of how I feel like, oh, if I have a somewhat enough experience to not be considered entry level. Also the pay is like completely different. That's something I have to think about. But I don't have enough experience in the industry where I can jump in and become a manager. So it's just like this weird, like, oh, what do I do? So I just like scroll on LinkedIn, like endless, just like scrolling just to see what's out there, which I don't think is bad, but it's also kind of discouraging sometimes. So it's just like, yeah, I'm just kind of like, oh, what should I do next? Like I considered schooling again. I was like, oh, well, yeah, no, I don't want to do school. So I'm just like, in a weird place, I think, where I'm just like unsure of what I want to do next. But I'm just trying to stay somewhat hopeful. Just be like, yes, I can. I'm still young, you know.
That's really interesting. I don't know, like I feel like I'm the type to just apply, like I know like I don't like failure either. I hate that feeling, but if I am even this tiny amount interested in something, I just do it.
And I was gonna say, actually, when you were talking about like, oh, when I went through that in college, and then I'm in a place where I think I know what I want and what I don't want. I think it's because you just try. And I think like that's like the mindset that I need to adopt more. And I'm realizing that.
I always like to encourage that to everyone, because like you can fall behind, quote unquote, in like just your title in your job or whatever. But in the end, I think you learn. You build that experience that you feel like you're lacking. So I don't know. It's just an encouragement to everyone who feels that way. It is scary though.
Dang.
Have you thought of going back to school?
I do, like here and there, very fleeting thoughts.
Oh, like an MBA, you
yeah,
know?
like MBA. But then that, I don't know if that suits me totally. But what I was thinking of, it was like actually pretty recent. It's like it's like somewhat related in terms of like my personality, but basically when I went to Seattle a couple weeks ago, Johnny was talking about how there's also like ergonomics OTs who literally go around and travel to different companies and teach them how to work more ergonomically friendly ways. I was like, wait, that sounds really interesting to me, and like I really like stretching, and I lead my teams in stretches, and I think I told you guys we talked about this like during my busy season. I was like, oh my gosh, like what if I get a certification on the side for like stretching and stuff? I was like, oh, that is something that for the first time in a really long time I was like actually interested in when she was talking about it. And then
I love that.
And I was like, oh, she was like a completely wrong career path, but then it's like, oh, I wouldn't have been interested in this in the first place if I didn't have like a very corporate job. So then I got kind of scared because I was like, fudge, like, what if I actually want to pursue this?
yeah.
Then that's like more school. Oh my God, what are my parents going to say? I actually didn't tell them this, but
Can't
like
you
they're
do-
gonna listen, so surprise. But I did, that's the thing. But yeah, I actually, but yeah, I talked about this with my manager too, and then she was like, she was like very interested too, and she asked like, would you do this? Would you do school part-time and like work on the side? And I was like, I don't know, that sounds really hard, but how would I pay for it and things like that. So it's like a very, very just like truly toying with the idea.
Recent too.
Yeah, it's like super
Yeah.
recent, but I mean, I talked about like getting certified like, you know, pretty long time ago, but I never did anything about it. But I think it's the laziness and the fear. So now it's like, this is something that I'm like actually kind of curious about, and it's something that I haven't felt in a long time. And so it's like, I kind of, maybe I really should like do something with this slow curiosity that may or may not be forming. So that's kind of what I'm like thinking about on the side every day.
Wow.
Like, what if? But I haven't done actual like research on it. But yeah, that's just
Wait.
like a new development.
I'm excited for you. That's such a great feeling to have when
Yeah.
there's that spark.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so I should definitely like, so I have time off starting next week. So I think I'm gonna like take that time to do things like research and like just like read and do things that I haven't really done before while I'm working. And then also, this is like kind of a side note, but when I was talking to my manager, so she recently came back from maternity leave, but she was saying how, you know, like postpartum is difficult.
Yeah.
She's saying it was really easy because busy season is worse. And so she was saying like, she was truly saying like pregnancy and like giving birth was great. Work was so bad. Like work was so difficult, like both mentally and physically, that the joy of like becoming a mom was so much greater than the pain and like difficulties. And I genuinely was like, wow, that says a lot. And so it was very much like a revelation in a sense. I think she was also like speaking this out loud. She probably hasn't spoken it out loud to a lot of people, but because we were both like getting really scared about busy season, and she hasn't done it in over a year, so she kind of forgot how bad it was. And I was telling her like, it was really hard this past year without you, and she's like, oh my gosh, now I'm scared. I was like, no, sorry. I'm scared. So I'm telling you, I can't be scared alone. Yeah, exactly. I'm telling you, please help. But yeah, so I definitely don't want to like, you know, have work be affecting like that many arenas of life. I feel like that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Did she talk about what she wants for herself? Like, just because she's, you're kind of seeing yourself in the future in a way when talking to her, but obviously she has a new future. Did she talk about that?
Kind of. She definitely doesn't want to stay forever in this place, and I think it's hard to unless you like dead set on becoming a partner, which is not for many people, unfortunately. That's just like the nature of it. But I think for her, like, priority is just like learning how to navigate this schedule while having a baby, because obviously you want to be there for the baby, but it's hard to when work is so demanding. And like I talked to another senior manager before. She's no longer at the firm, but I ran into her at the bathroom because I had worked with her on a different team prior. It was like during busy season, and I asked her, oh my goodness, how are you doing? Like, how's your baby? Because she had also recently come back from maternity when I last worked with her. I was like, oh, it's fine, but sometimes I don't see him for days. And I was like, no. And then I got like a farewell email from her after that busy season ended. So I was like, oh, thank God she did what was best for her and her family. But yeah, I don't know. Just the reality of that is so tough. And so that is not a future I want for myself. That's for sure. That's for sure. Yeah.
And it sucks because I think we live in a time where a lot of families are in need of dual income, especially if they have a kid. So it's just hard. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Sorry, I don't even remember what the original question was. Was there an original question?
Did your manager?
Oh, like before that. I think like
before that it was.
I'm sorry.
No,
education.
Oh,
yes,
oh yeah,
yeah,
more
schooling.
school.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 For you, what school, or you think like what discipline, or you know?
So I've talked about this before, but basically my junior year of college, I decided, I was like, I want to like try becoming a PA. So I took like some science class. I think I literally was only able to take like psychology and like one other class, just because my major doesn't allow me to take other science requirement or like science classes. So yeah, I only took psych, but out of senior year, I worked at a dermatology office, and I was like getting my hours, because you have to get, I think, around 2,000 for some schools, 2,000 hours of work. And then, yeah, obviously, so yeah, I thought about PA school, long story short, again. But in order to apply to PA school, I would have to do a post-bac program, because I want to get my classes done like ASAP, or my prerequisites done ASAP. Yeah, so I kind of thought about that. I didn't really look into it, but it was just something my dad and I recently talked about. He was just like, I feel like when you have a license, you just are more secure in a job. And like, people are always in need of healthcare professionals. So he just wants me to kind of get into that. I'm not necessarily against it. I would love to be in dermatology and like give Botox and filler to people. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like so much schooling. PA school's really hard to get into nowadays. Very, very competitive. So people actually recommend you go to nursing school and then become a registered nurse and then become
NP.
A nurse practitioner. But that's around the same amount of years you would be spending in med school. It's around 8 to 9 years.
Oh my
gosh.
Yeah.
So, but that's on top of me having to do a post-bac.
Right.
Because I don't have the prerequisites.
I
So
see.
I know I'm not too late. Like I have time to do these things, but I think it's also just like, man, like, do I want to really spend that much schooling to do that? So I think it's just like, yeah, it's just kind of like, probably not. But I did think about it. Like, it's in kind of just like in the back of, way back of my head. Yeah.
How about you? Do you feel like, are you more interested in other like certifications or?
For sure. I think I've always been like, maybe it's because the thought of going like earning like a higher education beyond college was always in my plan, but then I had that huge pivot. But it feels like that it's like a hole that's missing in my life that I want to fulfill. Not with like med school, obviously, because that's gone. But I think I do want to build hard skills. Like, for example, the work that I'm doing right now, whether it's like writing or designing, I feel like if there's a bar, I've reached like, I can do 80%, but there's that like 20% that I feel like I'm missing the hard skills to really execute it the way that I want to. So it gets frustrating. So I'm like, I just feel like I want to be more educated and well-versed in that discipline. But it's hard. First of all, money. Second of all, time.
Yeah, the biggest.
So I actually, every week, like once a week at least, I look up like part-time grad programs. There aren't a lot, but they do exist.
Yes.
But then it's like sometimes I just want to. The programs I'm interested in are not here. They're in New York.
New York.
Yeah, so it's a dilemma.
Yeah.
And I'm not like fully sold on the idea yet. It's just more of, it does like, my heart kind of thumps at the thought, but will it truly help my career? I'm not sure. So that's what I'm struggling with. Yeah. Obviously it won't like harm my career, but is it worth it? Is what I'm...
The $1 million question. Yes. Is it worth it?
Yes.
Dang.
Yeah.
On the topic of New York, I feel... Sorry. What? No, my laugh was so like, gross. Yeah, I mean, it's not like a planning, you know, like, like, OMG, like, I'm gonna move to New York. But I think it's like something we've like talked about like a few times. And like, Eris. Shout out to Eris.
Hi, Eris.
Yeah, like he hit. Eris, our friend Lena and I were in a group chat, and we talk pretty often. And he's always like, "Yeah, like New York is so fun. Like, move to New York, blah blah blah." And so like, you know, I've like looked at apartments just to see like what living situations really look like there, because everyone's like, it's so small, it's so expensive, and yeah, I feel like it's true. But honestly, LA's really expensive too nowadays. So I'm just like, but yeah, I just like kind of looked into that, and I was like, maybe I should just like move and see what that does for me. Like,
YOLO.
Yeah, like I'm young. This is the only time I have no kids, like no husband, no. I do have a dog. Like,
yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean, she is a lot, but yeah, I'm just like, this is like the one time I could move without a lot of responsibilities holding me back. So that was like a thought I kind of had, like, oh, if I move, like, where would I move to? Like, is New York too basic? Because everybody is moving there, literally everybody.
Yeah,
so
literally.
I'm like, is it too basic? Like, do I need to move somewhere else? Like, I don't know, like Chicago.
Chicago's nice.
Chicago is nice.
Yeah. So I was like,
but it's just not the same.
Yeah,
as New York,
like
you
the
know?
hustle and the bustle, you know, like
The
that.
culture, you know?
Yes, yes. And I heard it's like New York is really good for people around our age, especially to like network or meet friends. So yeah, it's like a thought I did kind of have. I was like, maybe in my mid-20s, like that's something I should just try doing, just moving, even if it's just for a year. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I just thought about that because New York.
Yeah, I do think about that a little too often.
Yeah.
But I think it's not even New York. It's just I want to experience something new because I've just been here my whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
And one regret I do have is going to college here. Like, I wish, because going to college elsewhere, it just kind of forces you to experience something new because it's a different place, different community, culture, everything. So you're kind of just thrown out there into the world at the age of 18. But I feel like, for me at least, I'm sure you guys feel this way too, but it didn't feel that different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it's college, you're meeting new people, but I mean, I went home every weekend. Like, that was on me. That was my problem. But yeah, it's just, I wouldn't even have that temptation if I went to school elsewhere. So.
I mean, you literally can't. So like,
yeah, exactly. True. Yeah. So
I feel like college is such a safe space to be thrown out in the world like that, because you're not really being thrown out in the world, but you're able to. Yeah, I don't know. College is like, so many things are forgivable. So yeah, that makes sense. Dang. You wouldn't have met us though.
That's true. Exactly. Good one.
She was like, yeah, one thing I regret, like, going to UCLA. I was like,
we are the reason she regrets.
Oh, what the heck? Okay.
just you then who thinks that.
Yeah, I'm not me. She really said, I'm pretty sure you guys feel this way too. I was like,
I'm alright.
Wait, really?
I mean, it was kind of like my only choice in a sense.
No,
so
let's say you had other options.
If I had
Yeah.
other options, yeah, then I
Yeah.
don't think I would have. Yeah, just because like UCLA was never really, to be honest, my top pick necessarily. It just kind of happened to be, or like.
smart
Oh,
girl.
no. I really overestimated myself though in my naive
say
state
that.
of high school. But yeah, in high school I genuinely thought I would be somewhere else, like outside of California, but that wasn't the case. So
Yeah, I think what frustrates me is even in high school as I was applying to colleges, I was so adamant about like staying at least in California. I don't know why. Like the thought of me going to like an out-of-state school was not appealing whatsoever.
interesting.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, why did you think that? That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I do think about that now. Because, like, sometimes I'm, like, on YouTube and a lot of college, like, vlog, like, because I watch a lot of vlogs. It's like college vlogs will just, like, pop up on my recommended. And they're like, oh, like, college in New York or something. And I'm like, oh, shoot, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, so I do think about that now. I feel like when I was going to UCLA, I was like, oh, this is great. Which, I mean, yeah, it was great. But, yeah, I think about that sometimes.
Yeah.
Dang.
But then I think about, oh, what about right now? Like, will I have these regrets 5 years later about things I'm not doing right now?
Dang.
Guys, everything is so existential. It's like genuinely like, oh my goodness. No, because I also talked about moving or going out of state with my manager, and then I was telling her, oh yeah, my friends and I were hee-hee-hawing about maybe moving to New York, hee-hee-haw, but you know, and I was telling her, I honestly think I want a change of scenery. I think that's like a really big thing that I want. And then she was saying how she has also been in SoCal for a majority of her life, and also she wishes that she had done something in her 20s, like moving somewhere completely different or moving out of state, but now she can't, obviously, with a family. And I was like, you are adding fuel to my existential crisis. Oh my gosh, maybe I really do need to move. I don't know.
It is scary though.
Yeah.
Very scary.
And then I was talking about this with my parents, and like the first time I brought up moving to New York, I told you guys, they were like, oh yeah, like if you have to go, you should go, whatever. But then I brought it up again, and then brought up like wanting a change of scenery, and I don't know, something is just like not satisfying. I don't know what it is. And then my dad got all serious this time, and he was like, at this point, you moving somewhere to just try something out won't necessarily be just for experience. Like, this is you choosing where to like settle down, because at this point in your career, like, where would you go? Like, what do you even want to do in your career that justifies you like having to move? And if you were to move internally within the firm, like LA is one of the bigger offices. So the only other big office you can go to is New York. Like, that's the only bigger office. Like, but what is your purpose in going to New York? Like, and so I was like, oh gosh, guys, why do you guys
I mean, I think that's good.
No, yeah, he definitely has a very valid point, because he's saying like at this point in life now and at this age, it's like having to think more wisely why I am going to, you know, move out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
I think my parents are exactly like their dad too. They're like, I actually did not bring this up to them, but I mean, we talk about similar topics here and there, and my mom's always like, oh, like you're not at an age where you can just do whatever anymore.
yeah.
But in my head, I still feel like I am at an age where I can still experiment and try different things out, which I do think is true. Like, both sides are true. It's all about perspective, but yeah, it does kind of bring me back from the world of dreams.
Yeah. I think it is, those are very realistic. It's really realistic, I guess, advice in some way, right? But it's interesting because my parents are somewhat different. They don't tell me that I'm at an age where everything's serious now. They're like, mess up as much as you can now. When you're like 30, 40, like that's when you're really gonna look stupid, like when you mess up. Like learn now when you don't know anything. And my dad's like, what do you know at it's funny because when we went to Capitol Grill, he brought up PA school, and that's when like the conversation kind of started. But he was like, I know how confusing it is at your age, and I understand that you don't know anything. You don't, like, simply put, nobody knows everything. He was like, I obviously know more than you do, but like I'm like, okay, like sure. He's like, but you don't know anything. You're not at the age where you're gonna feel secure with yourself 100%. He's like, I'm pretty sure more than half of the 24 or 25-year-olds out there don't know who they are, like, still. And that's like to the fullest, and that's fine, but it's hard. So he's like, so just try things when you can, when you don't have to think about those things. Yeah. It's interesting.
Will you ever truly know yourself?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Wait, like, Judy, did your sister ever go through something like this?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
That's really interesting that you ask, because I don't think I've ever asked her if she wanted to like move out of state. But we've definitely talked about like moving out and, you know, like living separately from our parents. I feel like I would probably have to have more conversation about this with her, but I'm pretty sure she's gone through a lot of similar things. When I kind of tell her the state of my mind, like when we're getting ready in the bathroom, and then I'm just like, I think I'm going through my quarter life crisis, and then she's like, then I think it's kind of like a, I think I know what you mean and like what you're going through type of and before she became a teacher, I feel like there was a lot of figuring out that she was trying to do. Like even now, she's kind of like, is teaching something I want to do for the rest of my life? Like there's not a lot of room for growth as you teach, because now she's in her like 3rd year of teaching. She's like, I teach the same lesson every year now. My lesson plan is already developed. So unless there's a huge change, I don't have to change my lesson plan. And so she's someone who likes to learn, and she's like, she loves school. Like she's that type of person. So I feel like she wants something that she can grow more in. So I think she is considering schooling and like trying other things. But in terms of like moving and stuff, I'm not really sure. I feel like she just is like okay with being here. But yeah, I think career-wise and things like that, definitely she still thinks about like what's next for me. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. I mean, even when you're like 40, 50, you're like, dang, like when am I gonna retire? Like what retirement plan, or like what, I don't know, you're always thinking about what's next, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like this is the one time we can kind of think about like now, like what's happening in the present. That's like advice I received recently. I like asked one of my cell members, what advice would you give to a single woman? And she was like, just live in the present. You're always going to be worrying about the future. Just like try living in the present. It'll change so much. So
Yeah.
I
think kind of building off of that, one fear I have, I just realized this, but a fear I have is losing that spark. Just all these quote-unquote existential crisis moments, I think they're really good for you. Like, it's stressful, but I think if you lose that, then life is just, you're just going through your day. Thoughtlessly. It's like you're in a simulation. You're just restarting, rebooting. Once you go to sleep, wake up.
And I know there's people who like the routine, and you know, I respect those people, but I understand what you mean too.
Oh, this was a good topic.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like pent up in us. We were just kind of like,
Yeah, it's just like, stuff we've been building and building the past however long.
Yeah.
Love that for us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're at 40 minutes.
Anything else?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Is it too cheesy to be like, oh, so what should we do differently in 2025?
Oh, actually, no, I don't
think
think so.
Like, what can we do differently? Or like tangible actions we can take to try and actually like work through this?
Yeah.
I actually have a good way to transition into that. Yeah. So I actually had dinner with Hiseo, who was a previous guest, and she asked that question like, oh, what do you want to try differently in 2025, or do you have specific goals?
Cool.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, I genuinely have not thought about that. I think this sort of thing I did think about more often last year because I had so much time on my hands. But now, like, I'm in the thick of work and everything, I just don't think about it as often. But I do think having tangible goals it just guides you and gives you like a direction, which is always a good thing to have.
For sure.
But I didn't think about it yet. Yeah.
Same. I realized like when I was studying for the exams, it was painfully awful, but like I had a very clear goal. And so even though it was hard, like I would still do it because I'm the type that if I have something, like I have to work towards it and I have to get it done. So then that was very motivating. And so I realized, wow, I really have not set a goal for myself in anything, like in a really long time. And I think that is what is making me more, I guess, depressed in a sense, where I don't know what I'm working towards. Like, I have no motivating factor for myself.
I feel
And
that.
so I realize how important goal setting is. And it's we had like talked about this at work too as a team, and it was a general question of, oh, are people's like career goals being met? And then someone else say, oh, like kind of asked me directly out of everybody, and I was like, oh yeah, like kind of what I had said before, like, oh, honestly, I did not think about goals at all my first 2 years because I'm just trying to not get fired. But now it's like I should think of goals, but I don't even know how to in terms of career wise at least. So yeah, it's very, maybe we should set goals right now,
we
guys.
still have time before the new year.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. I think I just want to find a new job. Like, just like try something new.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, like just try applying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like just see like what might happen. I don't know. Like maybe nothing will happen. I'll just like take that as a sign. It's like, okay, maybe not right now. But yeah, just like try applying to different jobs to see that I might just like be interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like something I want to do. Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's a good one. Are we talking about like personal goals too, or like?
Yeah, it
Okay.
can be personal too. I feel like it's really important to have personal goals outside of work too.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Because I realize like I spend so much I was talking about this with my manager too, but like I go to work like so early and I stay until everyone else leaves at the same time. I realize how detrimental that has been for me, like mentally too. And so we were like, she was like, we need to do something about this. Like, we need to do something. And I was like, yeah, we do. But I don't know what. So like to have an outlet is something I need to, I think that's definitely one goal, like to actually have a consistent outlet that I participate in. Yeah, you should set personal goals.
Yeah. I want to try lifting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not like powerlifting. like rah, in the gym, like, not like that.
Okay.
I mean, what's stopping you from doing that?
I can't imagine.
I know.
Be like, you're like, can you, like, I can't imagine like dropping the weights and like,
Yeah, and you're like,
and like taking the belt off.
oh gosh.
I can't do that. But I just like, so I've been doing Pilates for a little bit, but my work schedule has been like not consistent lately. Like I get off at, I mean, I usually get off around like 4:35, but I feel like there's just a lot going on in life. Like church like takes up a lot of my time too. My dog like suddenly gets sick, so like I have to take her to the vet, you know, like I have to cancel Pilates then. So I think I was looking for other options, like other workout options, because I was like, I want to continue working out because I feel like that's something that encourages me to get out of the house during the week, other than work. So I was like, I should look for other options then that might be more flexible. And the only thing I ran into was going to a gym. But like the gym scares me. Because everyone's like, you know, like, I don't know. Just like seems so unwelcoming when I know the culture inside is very different from what I've heard. So I do want to like try getting a gym membership and maybe seeing if like they offer like personal training and just do that for a little bit and then maybe see if I can work out on my own.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I can lift like 100 pounds. I don't know. Wait, the bar's 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, it's something I've been thinking about recently. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually might start working out too. Because my neighbor, he works out with Evan. You guys know Evan from college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And because I live almost literally next door, they were like, oh, like, if you want to work out with us, you can join. And I was like, maybe I'll join like once a week.
Yeah.
So I might start doing that, but I don't know what that entails.
Lifting?
Yeah.
I think it's
Do
like,
they, like, go to
running.
gyms
No, at their house.
It's like a home gym.
Yeah, it's like a home gym.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
very safe environment.
Yeah, if they went to a gym, I wouldn't go with them.
yeah,
I would only go because it's so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm like kind of scared because I've never gymmed ever. Yeah, and I hate running too, so I don't know. But we'll see. It's like a maybe. Yeah. Other things? That's it. I don't know. I do want to find a different ballet studio. Because I've been taking a break. I don't know. I feel like I kind of want to try a different studio out.
Yeah, for sure.
But we'll see. Maybe a Korean one. I don't know. Just to try it out. Why?
I don't know why. It's like you were like maybe a Korean one. Just
Yeah.
I want to journal more.
I should start doing that again too.
Me too,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
I think there are so many things that happen in life that I just like let it just pass. But yeah, I feel like I need to like process through, like think like write things down instead of just like having it just like in my head
Yeah.
and then just letting it like. So want to journal more.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I haven't journaled in forever.
Low-key same.
Yeah.
It's been a couple weeks.
Oh. I meant like months.
It's because I used to journal like every
That's true.
single day, and then as I started working, it would taper off.
Yeah.
So, you know, like maybe once a week, once a month, once every 2 months. And now these days I've been doing like kind of once a week, once every 2 weeks, and then I've kind of fell off for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Get that.
Yeah, but 2025 is going to be great, guys. It's going to be all about self-development.
That's right. That's right. You know,
Yeah.
we need to speak positively because our words have power.
Yes. You know,
So-
like plants. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
can-
yeah.
We're like plants.
We
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
we are. And so we need to speak positive words. And, you know, words are the outflows of our heart as well. And so it'll be great.
Be great, guys. Great year ahead.
It'll be so great. It'll be so great. It'll be so great.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Yeah?
I think
Yeah?
I
Okay.
think it will be. At least like I think it'll be a year of, even if it's hard, which I can see it being really hard to be honest. I think it'll be it's just a year of learning, and I think that's something. I think for once I'm like somewhat excited for. Like I'm not ready for it.
Baby steps.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I think it's like I just feel it for like a lot of us. Yeah, it'll be a year of learning.
And I don't know what it is. So 2024 actually feels like such a blur. Like, I don't know why, but it feels like such a blur. And I feel like I blinked and it's like
I feel that.
end of the year. And so I don't know how, obviously you can't make time go by slowly, but I feel like, yeah, if we're more present.
Be more intentional.
Yeah, be more intentional. The passing of time will feel not rushed.
Yeah.
Hopefully. I think that's like a good goal, I guess,
Yeah,
to
that's
have.
a good point.
So,
Yeah.
hoping that's the case for 2025.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone is going through this or has gone through this and has really helpful tips for us, please let us know.
Yes.
Or how you're going through it, or what your, I guess, mentality was, or any other outlets or mechanisms you've utilized to overcome. I guess this is honestly like ongoing for life, and it
Yes.
just feels more amplified because it's kind of like the first time we're really going through it
Yeah.
in this stage of our life. So please help us out. Let's help each other out. But yeah, hope everyone has a great warm week, and thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.